What is up, everybody? This is Erik, the one and only Bear Collector, and today I'm going to be reviewing one of my all-time favorite Transformers ever from any generation, G1, G2, anywhere. And this particular Transformer is Transformers G1 Shockwave. However, this one in particular is the Radio Shack version. I did add the sticker right there on my own just to make it look more like an actual Transformer, quote unquote. But he was known as Galactic Man, Astro Magnum, Galaxy Man, Shack. He was known as Shockwave, but this is the original Shockwave. Although people think this is a knockoff, it's actually not a knockoff. And I can go in a little bit of detail. So back in 1983, there was a Korean company named Toyco who made the molds for this particular robot named Galactic Man or Astro Magnum or whatever you want to call it, to be released in Radio Shack stores. It actually eventually, when Transformers debuted in 1985 in Japan, I believe Takara bought the rights to Galactic Man from Toyco, and they molded it. They made it into Shockwave, as you can see today. So technically speaking, this particular robot predates the original Shockwave. So this is the original. Kind of like when you have the perfect example, like the Diaclone figures from back in the days. A lot of the molds were used in Transformers. It's kind of like the same thing when it comes to this one. But yes, this was sold in Radio Shacks. And I do remember, I'll tell the story of how I acquired him in a little bit. But going into the thing of this one, this color was gray compared to the one in the Transformers was purple. And of course, as you can see, there are some different variants between the Galactic Man version. They say that if it doesn't have a date on the foot or a sticker, for example, I see a G right there, which is totally different. And then there was a sticker that says Radio Shack. Then you actually have the one that's Astro Magnum, the original one before Galactic Man. I'm not sure. This one's weird, and I'll explain because I remember, see, his fist was pink, and this is a lighter color. There are some versions where it's actually all red. The barrel's actually a little longer, but it's broken, as you can see. This one's been in through some Cybertron battles. So yeah, and yeah, there's different variants of it, but all in all, it's still Shockwave. This particular figure, to talk about Shockwave, before going through the figure, Shockwave was known as the scientist for Megatron and the Decepticons in the Transformers cartoon. They consider him to be even more intelligent than a Megatron, and they consider him to be probably more powerful than Megatron because he's kind of bland with feelings and emotions. Megatron gets to be very tense, very angry, where he keeps his cool and just thinks that emotions are a sign of weakness. So he is considered to be the scientist of the Decepticons, the one that does a lot of things for Megatron. And he's the one that also in the cartoon was kept in charge of Cybertron for the Decepticons while Megatron went to Earth after millions of years, and he was in command of the Decepticons. Another thing is that with Shockwave, he's also the counterpart of the Autobots, I would say Perceptor. I kind of view Perceptor as kind of like the scientist of the Autobots, and I think his counterpart would be to him is Perceptor. I do have that figure. I have the original G1 figure and a reissue, the TRU Toys R Us reissues that they did in the mid 2000s. Or sorry, yeah, mid to late 2000s. No, mid 2000s. Anyways, the TRU exclusives from Toys R Us. I have both, but I'll maybe do a video of that one later in the future. But definitely going back to him, he is considered to be the main scientist and the one that gets all the genius ideas for Megatron. And of course, his alternative transformation is a gun as well. So the only one of the three robots that I can think that turn into guns, which is Megatron from G1, Megatron, Shockwave, and of course Galvatron. He also has a transformation of a gun. That's another story for another day. But anyways, going back to him, as you can see, articulation. If you look at the feet, it does move. If you pull it down, he does bend the knee, but because he's kind of like, if I do bend it too much, and that's one of the problems of this toy, it'll be too long and he'll be like this. So I kind of like evened it out a little bit so he can be standing straight. His head, unfortunately, it came off, but it's still there from this toy. And of course, to go back in articulation, I can't put it back. So anyways, articulation, his antenna moves due to transformation. As you can see, when you transfer, you can move it forward or back. And then another thing is his hands, he can go like that. He can go straight, back due to transformation. He can move it. That's as far as his arms go. Same thing as the other one. It does the same thing. Although sometimes he's limited because of the hose. And as you can see right here, the battery compartment, I put a little extra one. Maybe one day I will. I don't have the battery cover for it either. The barrel for it is another piece that I could swear I own it. I have to look for it. I know it's somewhere. If I do, before I release this review, I'll post it with the barrel. However, I gotta look for it. When I went to go grab them, I didn't spend enough time looking for that piece. And of course, right here would be the battery compartment. As you guys can see, inside right there, that the black part of the cable cut loose when I had it. The sounds still work, but it's only one sound. He has two sounds, which is Vulcan. It's Vulcan. Sorry, I'm trying to focus. It's Vulcan, and I think is Magnum. Vulcan and Magnum. And then, of course, he has his eye scope, which I'll show in transformation. And yeah, and so I'm going to keep it like that because I don't want to mess it up. Other articulation other than that is the head. And that's pretty much it for this one. But gosh, this guy, to me, it is a work of art. One of my favorite Transformers. So to transform him into a gun, have a battery right here. I'm going to test it out. Hopefully I don't wake up my kids or anything. I'm filming at night right now. So anyways, to transform him into a gun, you flip the feet right here. And then, of course, the feet, they go together right here. And it's a little stiff. And I'll go over in a minute. I'll go over. You click them together and then you push in. Oh, his head fell. Well, with the head, you pull these down. And then you're gonna pop it. You're gonna pop them in. You want to make sure that the arms are straight. And this is where it gets tricky because of the head. You gotta push it down, and you gotta do. You gotta turn. I believe you gotta turn these. But for now, you gotta push that because it has to go like that, and then like that, and then the other one goes on top. As you can see, the groove right there. It goes there, and then it goes straight. Then these clamp together, but you got to turn the things around in order to fit it into the thing. And this is where it gets really tight. Right here with the holes. Trying to peg it. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. There it is. Kinda. It just... This is one of the issues of this robot. Let me see if I can peg it. It pegged, and I remember the other day I was able to kind of... maybe it's because of the fist? Yeah, I think that's what it is. It holds. But anyways, and then you move this back, and there it is. And then, of course, you have the trigger right here. So that's pretty much the gun. Once with the barrel, I think... it'll peg together. Oh, man. There. Just for sakes. And there it goes. Yep, that's pretty much it. You'll have the barrel. The barrel will go in here and it'll turn into a gun. Now, let me put the battery on so you guys can hear it. And I'm hoping it only does one sound though. The other day I was testing it. It only goes with one sound. I need to solder this right here, but it's better. Let me see. You guys can hear that. I'm just kind of, yeah, let me make sure that, make sure. And that's the only sound that it does, because if you go to the other one, it does the same thing. So I only get one sound, and then the lights, it's supposed to light up, but the lights don't light up. So I'm just going to remove this to kind of show you guys a more direct. There's supposed to be a battery cover, and supposedly in the battery cover as well, it gives you a date. And I believe it has to do with this fist, and I'll explain. So yeah, this is it. This is his transformation. It clips right there. There we go. That's it. Oh man, I love this. This is one of my favorite Transformers. When I was a kid, I had a lot of fun playing with this one, because not only would you play it as a robot, you would also play it as a toy gun, you know? And man, very comfortable. So how did I get this guy? So this is the interesting part about it. I remember many years ago when I was a kid, I got this guy at Radio Shack. However, I had two of them, at least two of these. I never owned the original G1 Transformer Shockwave. Fast forward, when I was a kid, I remember I used to take my Transformers to Mexico to play with my cousins and whatnot. Many years later, fast forward, well, before we fast forward, eventually I ended up taking all of these toys, and I left this one along with another one in Mexico, and they stayed there for many years. I remember the very last time I went to Mexico was back in 2013, and it was still there, but I never brought it back. So one year when my parents went to Mexico, they go often, like they go every year. I asked them, can you please bring them back? So they brought them back. There was another one that was broken. So I used pieces to fix whatever was broken. And I want to say this fist came from the other one. But I needed to grind it a little bit. The only thing, I do remember buying the barrel. So the barrel, I believe the barrel that I own might be a Shockwave barrel. But I did it anyways, and I never had the battery cover. So anyways, fast forward to that, you know, I used the parts from another one, and I bought the sticker and I just put it there because I thought it looked very cool. So yeah, so this is Shockwave. I love this Transformer. One of my favorites. No matter if it's beat up in the way that it looks, it's overall pretty cool. I need to probably open up the arm and grind the post a little more. So that way, I think that's the reason why it doesn't stick. And if I do put the barrel, the fist has to be a certain direction. So yeah, right now it sticks pretty much. But anyways, one of my favorite Transformers. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this review of this. I call it a masterpiece of a Transformer. Let me see if I can stand it. Yes, I can. Let me just stick the feet out so it could stand and pose them for a minute, even though that's not part of the transformation. There we go. A beautiful Transformer. Whether you got the G1 Shockwave or whether you got this one, I adore this. Is great. One of my favorite characters in the Transformer universe. Later down the line, of course, Shockwave got the same treatment as Megatron. He became a freaking tank, or some sort of. Sometimes they show him as like a biped monster. It's just not as cool as it used to be. Hopefully they do bring back the the gun forms. I know that, you know, because of violence and everything, they don't want to do that. But it just makes these really cool. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy this review. I will see you guys in the next one. Please like and subscribe. Please subscribe to my family's channels. Lily, a simple mom. Logan from Logan Toy Box Review. Alexis, aka Lexi from Lexi's Toy Box Review. Their links will be in the description down below. And hopefully you guys enjoy this little review. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys take care. Peace out.